All right, ladies and gentlemen, so Assassin's Creed Shadows reviews are officially live, and all of the shills have been super excited to get their reviews out there and give this game a massive score. We got IGN giving this game an 8. We got the VGC giving it a 4 out of 5. We got the Gamer giving it a 4 out of 5. Pretty much everybody's giving it an 8 for the most part on the mainstream media outlets. But then we're going to look at IGN's video and showcase their review from Jared Green and see just why this game is so amazing according to the shills. So let's get into this video, guys, from IGN. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Let's get it.
It's wild that it took almost 20 years and dozens of games for the biggest stealth action series around to find.
Yo, I can't I can't with IGN, bro. IGN is such a virtue signaling nonsensical company. You want to know why? Here's why. Dragon Age: The Veilguard was reviewed by guess who? A trans person. Assassin's Creed Shadows, with Yasuke being one of the main protagonists and the whole black stuff. Who was reviewing this game? A black reviewer. I can't with IGN. I just can't.
Finally bend towards feudal Japan. Assassin's Creed Shadows makes the most of that theme with a great pair of shinobi and samurai heroes sharing center stage that are fun to skulk through giant castles or wade into vicious battles with.
Oh yeah, this man was living his dream. What? He was like, yes, I get to roleplay as a 6'6" black guy in samurai armor and beat up Asians without getting #StopAsianHate like it happens in real life when we do it? Hell yeah. I get to do this for, hell yeah, let's do it.
Besides the setting, the bulk of the changes this time around focus on making smaller tweaks to well-established systems, such as less cluttered maps and skill trees, while also doubling down on things that really worked in 2023's Assassin's Creed Mirage, like the more focused combat.
The animations seem really weird. I think it's more noticeable with Naoe than Yasuke because Naoe is more focused on speed and agility, where Yasuke's a little more of a hulking brute. But I just noticed it when I see Naoe's playstyle. It just seems so weird. The animation's a little clunky.
Combat that accompanies its better paced main quests. It's not a perfect reset, as imbalances and missed opportunities abound, but I feel more confident than ever that Assassin's Creed could be back and here to stay.
And once this is done, I will never take up the sword again.
Again, I want you guys to keep in mind that these are the same people that gave Dragon Age: The Veilguard a 9, right? These are the same companies that give all these controversial video games super high scores because they are identity politics driven versus actual gameplay driven. I'm looking at the gameplay right now, and it seems pretty average for the most part. It doesn't seem like anything that's going to blow you away, and I'm a little bit questionable about the animations. We've already seen that the game is buggy and glitchy, but I can't imagine that this game is going to be anything that's going to make people say, oh my god, this was the best Assassin's Creed ever.
Let us get this over with.
Like a river in the rainy season, Shadow's story overflows with cliches and tropes. But morally complex intersecting plots still keep the intrigue high, which is the same trick that made Assassin's Creed Valhalla's stories work when they did. I don't think I was particularly wowed by any of the writing on a regular basis, but there are some standout moments of tense reflection and curious happenings.
Oh my god, what is up with this? What is up with this model? Oh my god, bro. What's happening? Is this glitched? This can't be real. What is happening? Why does she look like a poly? What? I feel like I can see the polygons. What is going on here?
Throughout.
Who is behind these murders?
I don't know.
The typical Assassin's Creed conspiracy woven into it fits perfectly within the war-torn Sengoku period of Japan too, like a hidden blade snugly in its wrist sheath. It's still a bit too full of go here, do that quests as bridges between major moments, but Shadows is organized in a way that can be enjoyed in pieces and at your leisure without getting too lost between plot points. Almost like how one might enjoy a good book. The leads themselves are wonderful. You spend a lot of the early game with the sharp-witted and brooding Naoe, who is among the last shinobi warriors of the Iga clan, a role thrust upon her by tragedy. That tragedy befell her in
So you do start the majority of the game in the beginning with Naue. Interesting. I'm almost positive that is not how it was supposed to be. And I am sure that Ubisoft ended up changing that to allow Yasuke to be more on the back burner because they want to bait and switch people past the refund period.
Part by the hands of the charismatic Hulk Yasuke, who is a tireless warrior for justice and peace. When they begin working together,
nothing says justice and peace like destroying Asian people, for sure.
They are frequently each other's most reliable counsel, with different perspectives on the events going on around them.
Perhaps in that chance lies the seed of redemption for each of us.
In other words, they truly do balance one another. And while I don't think either one would win popularity contests against some of the other series stars like Ezio or Edward, together they serve as a bright light in the center of a largely dark tale of revenge.
Dude, I am not liking these animations, man. I really am not. It's so blaring with Naue more than Yasuke. It really is.
Most of the missions in Shadows starts on the refreshingly intuitive objective board. Thematically, this approach matches the tone of using all of the information you gather to identify hidden members of a secret society trying to plunge Japan into chaos. Functionally, the way it organizes outstanding tasks and the people involved is far more useful than the old bulleted quest lists. Selecting a quest gave me a short list of clues to help discern where the objective was. Past Assassin's Creed games have tried versions of this before, but this one is the first one that I felt consistently made me look at my map and actually deduce where the spot in question might be. Rather than lighting up your map with a galaxy of tooltips, Shadows mostly relies on sparse points of interest icons to push you towards the areas you'll need to see in person. Even when you climb up to the signature high points to take a good long look at your surroundings, you'll see a bunch of these things that tell you that there's something out there, but you're gonna have to go check them out for yourself to know what. I love this. I could feel my brain starting to detangle the checklist conditioning that years of these games have instilled in me. Most of these undiscovered locations fall into a number of reliable categories, like castles you can infiltrate and attempt to steal special gear from, or any of the many villages scattered across Japan. But you can't be sure unless you take them in for yourself. A common thing I would always stop to handle whenever I came across them were world activities. These are smaller locations and events that, when completed, add knowledge points to your characters, adding new options to their skill trees. Not all these events are exciting, but they often don't take too long and the points are worth it in the end.
So not all of them are exciting and some of them are boring. Makes sense.
And some can add an interesting distraction from the action for a short spell. Between outings, I spent some time at the hideout.
Ooh, what's that FPS? Wait. Go back. Wait a second. What is that? What is that lag?
Between outings, I spent some time at the hideout.
10 FPS? What the fuck? Did you really put that in your video?
Collecting minerals, crops, and wood out in the world, you can use those resources to build and upgrade important buildings here that give you access to new assets. I spent the majority of my time at the forge managing my equipment, while other important buildings provide features that can be managed.
Yaya is hilarious, bro. This is the non-binary sumo queen.
In places outside of the hideout, like the new summoning ability from the dojo, which let me call in help from certain allies I met during my adventure. I'm glad I didn't have to dote on this place very much, as I personally can't be bothered to decorate a homestead. But those who can won't be disappointed by the amount of cosmetics available to find and buy. This version of 1500s Japan is a beautiful place. There's such a symphony of color over every hill and across every lake. Each season brings with it incredible landscapes, sometimes covered in the copper brown of autumn or entombed in deep white snow. I found the weather to be some of the best I'd ever experienced in an open world. It was hard not to be moved watching powerful winds pick up and bring in rolling thunderstorms, especially when nature reacted to it all in real time, as flocks of birds take flight and ground critters scurry to find safety. And not for nothing, but in my dozens
I can appreciate little small detail like that, by the way.
of hours in Shadows, I encountered remarkably few bugs for a game this size.
I think ultimately it seems as if Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be one of those games that just doesn't blow anybody away. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's one of those games where I guess it's going to be an average take on it. But at the end of the day, Ubisoft cannot afford average. Ubisoft needs a massive hit out the park for this game. And that's why I just find it funny that every single news outlet, for the most part, seems to be scoring this an 8 out of 10. Every single one. They're all saying the same exact things. They all have the same exact talking points. And at the end of the day, I don't really think all this shilling is going to save Assassin's Creed Shadows or Ubisoft at all. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.